What's up guys, this is Chris. Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're talking about Bitcoin price. Over the past week it has dropped almost 25%, and we're starting to see some other altcoins like Doge, for example, go down very significantly as well. So we're going to discuss the three main reasons why this is happening. And where do I see Bitcoin price going based on the technical analysis? Is it going 100,000? Is it going back down to 20,000? So make sure you like this video and subscribe, and let's get right down to it. So you can see here shortly before I started recording that Bitcoin price hit around 49,600. So first time in quite some time that Bitcoin has dropped below the $50,000 mark. So it has been going through malaise, and if I switch over to many other altcoins you see here, you have Litecoin has dropped dramatically from 300 something dollars to $240 here as of recording. Ethereum has held up much better, but is still down from its highs about 15% or so. You have some of the more speculative coins here. Stellar Lumen has dropped from 67 cents to 43 cents here. So it's going back to, in many cases, price levels that were at the start of the month or perhaps even beyond that. So something pretty significant is happening here. OMG, right? Prices are dropping. People are worrying about their currencies and whether or not this is a start of another real Bitcoin winter or crypto winter, and everything is going to crash 50%. Why is this happening? Well, basically, you have a lot of bears that are starting to come out here. You have JP Morgan sounds urgent alarm on Bitcoin price momentum after 300 billion Bitcoin and crypto sell-off. And that's talking about the overall market, including Bitcoin and altcoins. They're losing market cap as the value goes down. And they go on to mention Bitcoin couldn't hold its upward momentum post the Coinbase listing, and we'll talk about that. All right, only a move above $60,000, which is a key resistance for any bull trap rally, will help restore confidence that the bull trend is intact. And this is really funny because some of these strategists, like JP Morgan, has a team as well that put out $100,000 price tags on Bitcoin. Bloomberg just put out an article not too long ago on a $400,000 price tag on Bitcoin. And now we're talking about alarms. Well, I think a lot of it is certainly short term. Going to that Coinbase point that they talk about, I think a lot of people were buying in anticipation of that Coinbase listing. It was a big event that drew a lot of interest into crypto. It really validated the whole journey crypto has gone. And you can see the evolution of Coinbase, how it went from a small company to, billions of dollars worth in market cap to now $60 billion worth of market cap. And you have so many institutional investors buying in. But a lot of people like to buy up to an event and then sell on the actual news, right? We saw that with Palantir, another popular investment that a lot of people make nowadays, especially among millennials. They had a big event. Well, Palantir went up pretty big into that event and then sold off. So you're seeing that in the crypto space here as far as currencies. From the time that the Coinbase IPO was getting ready to launch until the actual launch day, you could see it, there was a pretty definite correlation there. The second major reason why Bitcoin is dropping, at least as of recording here this week, is because Bitcoin bears have a $340 million lead heading into Friday's Bitcoin options expiry. Okay, so that is essentially the equivalent of having puts on Bitcoin, like how you have puts on stocks in the stock market. People place bets on contracts saying that the price is going to go down to a certain level, and if it does and exceeds that level even, then those bears can make money on the difference. Okay, so there are more people betting on Bitcoin going down at this Friday's expiration. So people have a vested interest in driving the stock price down. There's going to be people that are worried that people are going to drive the price down, so they're not going to buy. And so it's essentially supply and demand. You have people that some of them are just going to hold, some of them are going to sell, but probably not many people are going to buy into, I guess you could say, another event where people are actively looking for Bitcoin to go down so that they can make money. Now, the third reason why Bitcoin is going down, and this is a pretty big issue in the crypto space in general that has been getting a lot more attention lately. And that is the Biden administration seems to be drafting crypto-related regulations. We know that Janet Yellen of the Treasury is not a big fan of the crypto space. She's called it a good way to do money laundering and stuff like that. Whether that's true or not, I'm not going to comment on that. But what I will say is once the government gets involved, things can get a bit hairy. Essentially crypto is such a big revolutionary thing, and it has a big disruptive power as far as actual fiat currency, right? And the government does not want so many people to be involved in something that is not regulated by the government. There could be crimes involved in some cases, whether large scale or small scale, and the government is not getting a piece of the pie, at least not as much. So they want to make sure that nothing shady is going on. That could derail some interest in crypto. There could be some regulations that are introduced as far as trading and taxation. Whether you define cryptos as securities or, basically treat them as stocks, or should you treat them as, what are you treating them as? Because a lot of people are buying them for investment. They're not actually buying them for usage. People are also speculating at this point. You can see Bitcoin retreats to weekend's flash crash lows amid tax anxiety. So we know that the Biden administration wants to increase capital gains taxes to as much as 40 to 44% for the wealthiest individuals, those that make over $1 million in their federal income tax. What do we do about cryptocurrency and when people buy and sell them and use them as well? So like if I use Bitcoin to buy a Tesla, do I pay capital gains tax on that? I'm not totally sure on that myself. I've never done that. But if someone has in the comments, let me know. And this is totally unconfirmed and random BS rumor as well. But some people are saying Janet Yellen to propose capital gains tax as high as 80% on crypto trading. That would pretty much kill the entire industry, to be honest. If you have to give away 80% of your gains. So if you make $1,000, you only keep 200. So you have a lot of issues here. 3 big reasons why things are going down. You can see here again, IRS is probing signs of cryptocurrency and NFT tax evasion, all coming at the same time, basically like a perfect storm. This is not the first storm that Bitcoin or other cryptos have had. So if you are a long-term believer in, either the technology, or you're invested in mining stocks or exchange stocks or brokerage stocks, then you probably want to hold through this. If you own the coins for sure. But this is definitely, as has always been, a very volatile investment to make. Like you could see here, Dogecoin hit a high of 44 cents and now it's down pretty much 50%. So depending on when you bought this, right, you could have made 1,000% gain, 10,000% if you really were below the 1 cent level, a fraction of a cent, and now it's 44 cents. But if you bought at the high and chased it and didn't do any research into what you were buying into, then you could definitely lose money very fast. All right, guys, so you can see the chart here that Bitcoin price has cycled through peaks and troughs this year alone 4 times, this being the 4th one. Each time it has dropped at least 20%. Okay, very decent sized correction. Some might call it a crash if they want to. The worst one being 33% back in January, from 42,000 to 28,000. Now, as I'm recording here, so far the correction or this crash has been about 24%, from 65,000 to 49,000. So it's getting lower as I record this video. It's getting worse. Can it continue to fall? Well, it did break through this low that was put in late March. All right, so we have a new low here. That's not usually a good sign, right? That tends to suggest that there could be more downside until it hits a floor. It hits a previous support ideally and try to consolidate there before going higher. Of course, in the grand scheme of things, Bitcoin is still astronomically higher, exponentially higher from where it was just 6 months ago, for example. So it is not unheard of for Bitcoin to definitely take a pause here Now, you could look at some levels here. I do believe this 45,000 level offers some pretty decent support. You do see several times back in February and early March where it sat around this level, bounced around a couple times before going higher. All right, that does look pretty attractive, and it does look possible. It might be possible by the time I'm done with this video to hit $45,000. We'll see. I mean, no one's perfect. No one can, predict these things to the T, but it does look a bit bearish right now here for Bitcoin. And you're considering that, these are some big red candles with continuous downside here. You can also see that, as they mentioned earlier, where momentum is slowing, well, you can see it here on the momentum indicator that is the RSI, right? So when the RSI is 50 or above, or generally even, above 60 or 70, that suggests really, really strong momentum. And that's when you usually see some very strong price action, some pretty big jumps in the price. Like you can see here, there was a really, really high RSI in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. That was when Bitcoin went from 18,000 all the way to 42,000. So a big, big jump. At this point in time, you could see that momentum has crashed, right? That momentum right here is actually hitting 30 at this point, and it could get below 30, which would be oversold. All right, in some instances, that is a good sign for you to jump in, but you do want to probably see some sign of reversal first. It could continue to go even lower, as we've seen in the past examples here. It is the lowest momentum we have seen since March 2020, though. So that is definitely something to consider if you've been on the sidelines. You might want to start buying a position here, but I would not suggest going all in. I would try to find a lower RSI even, or for Bitcoin to hit, a previous low here, like 45,000. All right, ideally in a perfect world, or it shows some signs of a bounce too, as far as maybe a hammer candle, maybe some higher volume on the upside. But it's definitely a developing situation. But if you ask me today, will Bitcoin hit 20,000 first or 100,000 first? I am in the camp that will say it's not going to hit 20,000. I think there's just so much institutional money tied up into Bitcoin now, and there's so much vested interest in Bitcoin going higher. And the whole market in general, as far as crypto goes, is a lot more mature compared to, say, 2017, 2018. Now, as there is more institutional investing, there is going to be less volatility overall. There are going to be more dip buyers in the crypto space with a lot of rich pockets, and they have money to throw at this thing. Whereas in the past, it was very largely retail investors who panic sell at the slightest hint. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below what you guys think about Bitcoin price here. Are you buying this dip and holding on, or are you gonna run for the hills? That's okay too. Until next time, my friends, stay well and invest responsibly.